Hello guys, welcome back to the Beastie Room. Wow, we have been so busy with pairing. We have paired so many different spiders and we're still going. There is so many more to do. Today we are going to do the Pamphobeteus machala, which is a large bird spider. Now you would have seen this particular female was a gift from a subscriber, and yeah, you watch that video when we got her. She's absolutely huge. Now what we've done here is we've taken her from the 30-30 by 30 Komodo that we kept her in, and we've put her into our breeding enclosure, and this is to allow her a little bit of room, but more importantly to allow the male some room. We weren't too sure how these guys were going to actually behave, so she's recently molted, so she's ready to go. We've just done a little bit of conditioning with the food and also with humidity and things like that. So we've just played around a little bit with her. But you'll see, whatever it is we've done, it seems to work, because these guys fell in love real quick. Right, check this out. Well, here we have our Pamphobeteus machala, commonly known as the Colombian purple bloom. And as you can see here, the females are quite drab, really. They're a large brown spider, a bird-eating spider. But as you can see there, the males carry this lovely, gorgeous purple colouring. Now this is our male here, and he's literally just entered the enclosure, and you can see straight away he's picked up on the pheromones. And you can see there that his body's twitching away. There you go, pedipalps are on the go. He knows already that she is within the vicinity. Now this constant scratching that you're seeing from the pedipalps will become very apparent when we see the amount of webbing that is laid down by the female around her burrow. And what he's doing is he's literally clawing on that webbing, and that is dragging across the whole entirety of the enclosure. And this is sending signals to our female, letting her know that he is within the vicinity and what his intentions are. You can see clearly the tibial hooks on his front legs there. Now these guys are found in South America. They're a New World species, and they come from all around Ecuador. So they like a reasonable amount of humidity. They are what we class as a subtropical spider. And being a New World spider, they do possess urticating hairs. And as you can see from this male here, he's around about 6 months old. So he's lost some of his colouring. You can see some of that gorgeous purple colouring on his leg there. When they first mature, when they very first molt out, their colouring is absolutely exquisite. Obviously as they get older, they lose some of the vibrancy. A nice close up there of his pedipalps. You can see now as well that his intentions are becoming stronger. You see the very short jerky movements of the body. They're becoming stronger and stronger as we go through time. Now there you go. Now you can see the webbing in front of the male. You can see when he pulls on it with his pedipalps, you can see the whole web moves. And as we pan out now, you can see that she's laid that webbing all over the enclosure. Now she's been put into our breeding enclosure, and she's been in there roughly a week. So you can now see the importance of that webbing. It is like trip lines everywhere. Now she's acting like she's fast asleep. We've not seen any movement out of her at all. Our male is slowly but surely getting more and more confident. As you saw there, very sharp, shaky movements from the male. He's constantly quivering. There you go, he's pulling on them web strings again. As you can see there at the moment, everything that we're witnessing here with these spiders is all purely vibration at the moment. He's getting more and more forceful as time goes on. Interesting to see that our female has not responded at all. We have not seen a single movement from her yet. Is this a good sign or a bad sign? I'm sure she is fully aware of him. There you go, you can see that webbing moving on the floor now. There we go, the shaking is becoming more intense. You notice he's very low to the ground as well. Quite often our male spiders sit quite high. And this particular one, he's sitting very, very low, and when he pulls on that webbing, you can imagine he's sending shockwaves right the way through the enclosure. And he's slowly making his way forward, very cautious. Oh, here she comes. She's moved around now. Look at the size difference. There you go, contact straight away. Now you notice as soon as he put his foot on her, she actually lowered down to the floor. She was very submissive. See the difference in the size in the abdomens? She's got a nice large abdomen, which makes us believe that maybe she is full of eggs already. She molted out some months ago, so she should be cycling properly now. Now we're going to see an interesting thing here. You can see now he's moving forward. She's backing up. You can see her fangs are extended. We often see people get worried about when the female's fangs are exposed like this, and this doesn't appear to be a sign of aggression with our females. It seems to be more of a readiness for them. Now you see she raised herself up there. He's slowly backing her into the corner. She's going to have nowhere to go in a minute. And you can see he's reaching out. Now he's got his front legs in place. Now something unusual here. His front legs are actually crossed over and are sitting between her fangs. Now I should imagine he's got maximum force from there. Now you can see he's feeling for her now. He's literally going underneath. Now we've come round to the other side for a better view. And you can see now those front legs between her fangs. They are actually pushing her fangs apart. And he's got a proper grip there. And you can see also there that the tibial hooks are actually hooked underneath her fangs. They're pushing her over. Here he goes. Now he's going for insemination. She's very, very willing. Things are looking good so far. Just having a little rest. You can see the colouring coming out in him now. Beautiful, beautiful spider. Here we go. Oh, there you go. That is insemination. Now he has penetrated her and inseminating as we speak. And you can see now the importance of the feet in the fangs. He's managed to push her right the way over. She is almost doubled over. She's putting up very, very little resistance. There you go, you can see him working that pedipalp now. Now we've come back, but he's managed to remain holding her in place. Those feet are wedged between her fangs. I do believe we're going to go again. We're going to try again. There you go, there's a very good shot of how those feet are between the fangs there. Normally we see with our male spiders, they go either side of the fangs. This is unusual to see them actually between the fangs like this.
It obviously works very well. There you go, he's reaching under again. I'm very, very surprised at how subtle these large spiders are. I was expecting a little bit more forcefulness with them. You can see clearly there the emboli on the male's pedipalps there. You just see the silhouette. Now we're trying to get an angle here to see if we can get a better look. You can see the shape of the emboli there. There we go, you see them very clearly there. All the males have different shaped emboli. Now you can see how the pedipalp twists and it goes sideways. He's looking for the entrance to that epigastric furrow. Sorry for that little fly around there. There we go, we're reaching under, there we go, we're having insemination again. You can see how she is almost doubled over backwards. She is given no room to manoeuvre there, and he is fully inserted. These are very strong inseminations. Look at the colouring on that male. Absolutely gorgeous. Now these are very, very precise pairings with these spiders. Quite often we see them where they literally just stab and run. Others they go for it. You see the insemination and then the females are all aggressive. She is very, very laid back. There's no aggression in these two spiders whatsoever. The male is very relaxed. You notice his pedipalps are only halfway up. Quite often we see them, they're standing very tall. He is a very comfortable male, and she is a very well behaved female. No aggression whatsoever. This has been a very good pairing. We can clearly see the end of the emboli there. And there appears to be some residue on the end of that emboli. Now, has that come from the female or has that come from the male? We're not really sure. It's difficult to tell. Now, it looks like they're finished now. So we've had two very positive inseminations there. Hopefully, this will prove to be a very successful pairing. Everything was perfect. Now I would imagine breeding wise now with this female, she'll go very similar to things like the sturmy and what have you. I should imagine there will be a couple of months of waiting. We'll watch her abdomen grow. Although looking at her I would say she is full of eggs as we speak. Now our male is just backing off now. He's done his job. Very, very relaxed. Look at that. Absolutely stunning. Now our male sat and relaxed here for a little while, and we had to coax him out of the enclosure. It was time to leave. And you can see our female there. She's still sitting there, it's very calm. So what we're doing now is we are just going to gently coax our male out with the paintbrush. We don't want him to run, so it's very, very important that he leaves nice and calm, because if we was to spook him and he ran into our female, there's an opportunity there for her to grab him. So we're going to move him out very, very gently. We've got his enclosure behind the back of that tank, so we are now lifting him very gently over the edge back home into his own enclosure. He's done his job. What a wonderful little male that was. and a great pairing. Fingers crossed for an egg sac in the future.
Well, what did you think? That was pretty impressive. It was almost like she was sitting out in the open and she had her back to him. This is something actually that's particular with this spider. She always just sits out in the open. I don't think, since we've had her, I've never seen her hide away. She's always sitting out in the open. Very, very relaxed spider. She doesn't like to be touched. If we try and interfere with anything that's going on in there, with her, see what she's doing, she will flick hairs. But apart from that, she's so relaxed. Now, we saw that we introduced our male into the opposite end of the enclosure. He came in and it just took him just a few seconds, literally, to pick up on the pheromones and the webbing that's laid on the floor. She lays a very fine webbing all over the place. And he picked up on that real quick. And you'll see there that he started mucking around, he was scratching away with his pedipalps. Now, it didn't take him long and he started getting a little bit more forceful and sending them messages across, which eventually, I think she was in a deep sleep, but eventually she woke up and you see she turned around and they literally came in together and they met almost, I mean, there was no hesitation as such. They were really, really good. And you'll see that we had a couple of really nice inseminations. Hopefully we got some nice close-up footage there. The males on these are absolutely stunning. Now, this particular male, this is a male that we got in, and he's not particularly young. I think he's around about 6 months old or so. So he's been going on a little bit, but it's nothing really to worry about with these big spiders. The big guys, they tend to last a fairly long time. So fingers crossed, he's still got it in him. He certainly looked like the part. We'll have to wait and see. Well, I think it's just a fascinating courtship, and it shows that when we get these guys together, when they hit it off straight away, whatever it is we're doing with this conditioning is doing it right. And when we mention the word conditioning, people get very worried that it's very, very precise. It's not a precise science. When we condition our spiders, we're talking about getting our females ready. So we're looking at getting our female, hopefully we would like to pair her within, I normally try and do mine within 6 to 8 weeks of them molting. There's no point doing them too early, I don't believe. I think we're better off leaving them a little longer. And in some cases, we've shown with some of our spiders that going 5-6 months has produced a sac very, very quickly. Whereas if we pair from when they molt early, it can sometimes take 3, 4, 5 months for them to drop a sac. So there's a little bit of evidence there that suggests that maybe we should be looking at pairing our females later after they've molted. There's always the risk that the later we go, the quicker she will molt out again. And this is why we tend to pair early. So I think there's a little bit of evidence there that says maybe wait a little longer. And it's something we're going to experiment with. Now, in that time from her molting, we like to feed them up. And we get them to a point where their abdomen is just looking on the plump side. It's just a little bit larger than what it would be as a normal maintenance size abdomen, if you like. How we maintain them if we're not breeding them. Now, once we get that little bit of plumpness, then we try and maintain it there. We keep it there, so we give her very, very small meals, but we give them quite regularly. Now, what this does is this is subsiding that feed response. We don't want her hungry. So we're trying to cut down on the feed response. Some of these spiders, things like the white knees, the machalas, they're very, very food orientated. So we need to curb that and get it down a little bit. Now, once we've got to that point, we can then bring our males in. It's important that we get our males in the right condition as well. We try and keep our males a little on the cool side, and then we warm them up just prior, and then we pop them in. Again, keep them well hydrated. They must be hydrated. The males tend to be thirsty, so we always make sure they've got water, and we always offer food. Not all males will take food, but the majority will. So always offer food. We get the food into them, and then we put them together, and then hopefully you'll get what we saw today with that lovely introduction immediately, and they get it on, and it's done really, really well. Right, I hope that's answered a few of your questions. There's an awful lot more to the conditioning and the pairing. There is an awful lot that goes into it, but it's also quite simple as well. So it's little tiny subtle things that we change that makes the difference. Well, I think we'll do a video on this as a pure subject. Right, well, I hope you enjoyed that. And don't forget, if you like the video, hit the like button. We've been noticing now our videos are hitting out, quite often we're hitting between 10 and 15,000 views. But the likes, we need to get the likes up. So if you've watched the video, hit the like button. It doesn't cost anything, but it does us the world of good. So please, please, hit the like button, subscribe if you've not already subscribed, and leave a comment. We love to have a chat with you guys. It's great to see some little bit of interaction from our subscribers. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. And don't forget, tell us where you're from if you're new to the channel. Get you on the map. Right then, well, I hope you enjoyed that. And don't forget, be calm, be gentle, and love your spider. And I'll see you soon, guys.